Good afternoon. Sorry, I'm late. I was busy doing other things. Afternoon, Marco. Afternoon, Soul Trader, Fletch, Andres. How are we all doing? Sorry, bit waylaid there. I was just busy figuring out something in MT5, which is always a fun thing to do, isn't it? Today is obviously Wednesday. News-wise today, we've just had the non-farm employment change figures. Massive miss on that, minus 32, which is fairly big, basically. So I think there's a good chance that we're going to get some continuation movement on that. If you look at the dollar, probably not against the CAD. Obviously, big downward movement for the dollar off the back of that news. It is a big miss. Whether or not it's going to actually do anything, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, you can see the market reaction is obviously not good. Stock indices, we had a fairly weak reaction to it. It was there. No, it wasn't. It was there. Sorry, somewhere around there. So nothing much in the stock market basically off the back of that. So very, very quiet on that front. But this morning, lovely trades. DAX was a beauty. Super clean. So ORB, where's my pen gone? Afternoon, Peter. Beautiful move on the DAX. That was the 5-minute candle. We had a gap fill to the upside. ORB break was just straight up to target, which was there, and then ADR, which is there. So double target hit on the DAX today. Could not help but make a fortune on that one. I got a trade on gold as well today. So there was a nice ORB on the 15 on gold. The other chart, actually, that one, yeah. There we go. Sorry, it wasn't the 15, it was the 30. So we had a lovely big range formed on the 30-minute, which broke that high, took that, and then obviously second half out. So beautiful little profit today. Lovely. Starting the day 8% up. Let's see if we can carry on. 5-minute RBs are in on the Dow. We're inside bar. NASDAQ has already triggered a long. There we go. So I've got my trade copier set up now. So my ORB EA is automatically copying trades over onto my TraderFate. My TraderFate accounts within Take Profit Trader. So I've got a number of accounts in TraderFate with different prop firms. So I'm now automatically copying ORB from MT5 straight over here. It's so nice. I don't have to focus. I don't have to concentrate. Full automation on futures. Love it. Anyway, that's all happening automatically now. So NASDAQ long, Dow inside bar currently. ADRs and everything on forex today. As you can see, RSI's all over the gaff. ADRs off the chart. So the Swiss franc today has had an absolute pounding. So really, Aussie Swiss massively up 125 ADR, CAD Swiss up, Swiss yen massively down, pound Swiss through the roof. Great, because I'm long on that. New Zealand Swiss up. So the Swiss franc really sold off hard today. I don't know whether this is related to what's happened with the US shutdown. We've had a parliament or government shutdown in the US. I don't see why you would pull money out of the Swissy. Normally you put money into safe haven when things go wrong, but the Swiss franc's really dumped today. I'm not quite sure what caused it. I didn't see anything specific. 2 more Fed rate cuts. There we go. So that's why we're dropping on the dollar on those unemployment numbers. I don't quite know why the Swiss has sold off so much. We had the Eurozone CPI figures coming out. Basically came out on forecast, so nothing particularly there. UK manufacturing, nothing to do with it. So yeah, just a big sell-off on the Swissy for some reason. We had Swiss retail sales coming out as a miss, but I mean, who cares? Anyway, so yeah, not quite sure on that one, but big move on the Swissy. So the rest of the afternoon, we've got manufacturing PMIs coming up at 3 o'clock, which is half an hour, obviously, after market open today. So we're forecasting a slight uptick on that. So if we get the uptick, it might reverse a little bit of this non-farm employment change. If it gets down ticked, obviously it'll go the other way. Something's just triggered an order. Dow long. So long on the NASDAQ and the Dow. Long on both. I'm already up 400 today on gold because I took the gold trade as well. So good start to the day. We'll see how we get on. So there we go. Right. So forex wise, obviously there's another ADR. There's DAX 125 ADR gone. So yeah, there's ADRs all over the place today. Loads of opportunities for mean reversion. 5-minute charts, Aussie dollar Swiss. That's not drawn correctly, is it? There we go. Aussie dollar Swiss, you've had the reversal already. So there's your M pattern reversal starting to go in. It is holding up here a little bit at that kind of support. So we are obviously contracting those. So potential for a breakdown on the Aussie dollar Swiss there. Aussie dollar yen. So decent movement in that one as well to the downside. So we're down at 150 ADR. You've already had a reversal alert on that this morning, which would have been somewhere in there. And obviously it's pushed down 150. So if you took the ADR at 100, 150 is where the second one looks like it's probably going to go in. But the biggest mover of the day is the Swiss yen. So we've had all this movement on the Swiss franc and we've had all this movement on the yen. So if you look at the yen pairs, obviously everything down against the yen means yen strength. We've had a massive Swiss franc sell-off. So when you get massive strength against massive weakness, you get double the movement, hence 225 ADR. So if we pop over and have a look at the currency strength meters, we have a look over the last 4 hours maybe. You see we've got good strong yen there and a very, very weak Swiss franc. Yeah, massively weak Swiss franc. So there's a couple of ways to trade this type of currency strength move. You can look at the yen and look at the Swiss, which is obviously the Swiss is starting to neutralize now. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, hourly we're still quite weak, 4 hourly very weak, but it is starting on the 15-minute time frame to tick up a little bit now. So there's your Swiss franc at the bottom there. At the top there, we've got the pound being the strongest thing at the moment. So that pound Swiss, we've got that movement there at 200 ADR. So obviously when you've got something that's massively strong and massively weak and you get that extended move, the market will want to take profit on it at some point. So there's your reversal alert just going on the Swiss yen, the pound Swiss, which is at 200 ADR. Yeah, there's your M pattern formation starting. So good looking little short there. Very nice, tidy risk reward trade. Odds of going past 225 ADR are 1%. Yeah, we very rarely go past this. This is an anomaly. You don't get up there very often. So 3% is 200 ADR. So, you know, where we are is extremely rare. So pulling back on this, I mean, there's so much room to the downside. That's your nearest upside resistance, which is yesterday's high. This other dotted line here is Monday's high. So you've got at least a 50% retracement down into that propulsion gap before you're hitting any type of downside support. So there's absolutely miles to go on that. Really, really good looking short. Unfortunately, I can't trade it on the futures, but yeah, it looks great, but there's tons and tons of them there. So if you want to go, if you haven't got the ADR dashboard, you can go into the website, go into the indicator dashboards. The ADR dash is in there. Just wait for it to load. A little bit slow to load up if you've got every instrument in there, because obviously there's a hell of a lot of calculations going on. But that runs up from 75 to 225 ADR. So that'll load up in a second. There you go. There's your Swiss, and there is your Euro Yen extension. There's your Pound Swiss up at 200 ADR. So you can always use the dashboard in the members area to access as well. Right. So there's all your ADRs, RSIs. There's also tons of those as well. We'll come back to those in a sec. Let's just see what's happening with these breakouts so far. No trade on gold so far because the 10-minute range is very small. But we are long NASDAQ and long Dow. DAX pushing up above 125 ADR now. Real big movement on these European markets today. Someone's woken up the Europeans. Maybe they're pulling all the money out of the dollar and sticking it all in Europe because obviously it's all going a bit wrong. But we'll see. What's the pound US dollar up to today? Big strong push, I'd imagine. Yeah, ADR. So got an ADR hit on the pound US as well. That's coming up into a lovely upside resistance. Weekly high at propulsion, breaking through a previous support. A good opportunity for shorts coming up on that one. Drop down low time frames, look for signals for shorts, reversal alert, MA cross, price action, whatever we want to use to get in on a signal. Good looking extension there, but a little bit further. Like to see it come and test that weekly high, about 112, 113 ADR. Yeah, loads of those available. Just seeing where this is going today. A little bit cautious with the, because obviously it banked quite a bit this morning. I don't want to let the whole lot go. There's an argument when you've had a morning like this for just sitting there in the afternoon and doing nothing, because the danger you have is if you have strong movement AM, you could well have the markets go into shock mode and they go into rotation because they are like, holy crap, look how much we've moved already. Let's sit around and see what's happening next. And you just sit in rotation for the day, which basically can end up being a choppy market. Obviously, choppy markets are no good for breakouts. So there's the danger, obviously, you hand back the profits for the day, but we'll see. So just putting back on the Dow and the NASDAQ. So it looks like these both might be stop outs today. On the first move, we will see. So US markets at the moment, obviously we are kind of in rotation. There's no real directional bias. We've hit those all-time highs and we've kind of bounced off and stuck. So yesterday, very, very rotated. Ignore all those trades yesterday. I was on a massive scalping mission yesterday. I was testing this copy trader basically. So I went into over eager scalping mode. It worked out very, very well, as you can see. But yeah, I went into super scalp mode on the Dow yesterday to test the copier out. But yeah, we're in rotation at the moment. So markets not quite sure where to go. So there's a good chance, you know, we might sit around again until non-farm payroll. And because obviously we've got this government shutdown thing going on, there was talk, as heard in Discord today, of them not releasing non-farm payroll and unemployment figures on Friday because the government's shut. So I'm not quite sure how. It's something that very rarely happens, obviously. So I'm not quite sure exactly how it's going to affect financial markets. So need to be a little bit careful, kind of maybe one of those days where you want to kind of reduce the risk a little bit. But we'll see. So yeah, same with the NASDAQ. So with regards to targets today on all indices, you're looking at session lows, yesterday's high, NASDAQ. Obviously, NASDAQ, you got upside target, yesterday's high, previous day's high. Low of Globex today, stopped out on one of those, stopped out on both of those by the sounds of things. And then obviously we've got fair old move on the NASDAQ down if we do close, break to the downside. With the Dow, it's very similar. You've got upside. We're actually at yesterday's high, which is probably what that rejection is. So stopped out on both of those. Globex lows, and then obviously all the way back down there for your downside target. So loads of room to the downside, less room to the upside on the Dow today, unless we break really strongly, but it doesn't look like it, does it? So, choppy open. So 30-minute range break will be going in on the Dow and the NASDAQ. Oof, big strong sell order just came in there. Huge spike down very quick. They just had a load of order volume there. So it looks like we're breaking short. So I'll be triggering on both of those shorts. Those lines are in the wrong place. Oh, that's an hourly chart, that's why. Okay. Yeah, so just about to trigger short. SNB bought the first time in 2 years euro against the Swiss, I read somewhere. So they've been buying up euro and selling Swiss, triggered on shorts on the NASDAQ. So euro Swiss, obviously, no RSIs on it yet, but so they're buying the euro and selling the Swiss. Could be, but why? Don't know. This is the trouble with the SNB, and this is why people don't like trading the Swissy. They do stuff without telling anybody. They just do it. So we'll basically say, we're going to keep our interest rates at 0. And then they'll come out and go, actually, we decided to go to 0.25. And the market just goes mental. And then suddenly they will just do stuff where they will just manipulate their currency. And they openly say this when the SNB talks, when Jordan's talking, or anybody from the SNB is talking. They're open about, we will manipulate this market. We will manipulate it by selling or buying Swissy until we deem it fit to stop. No other country does that. The Japanese, every time they've done it, they always deny it and go, nope, wasn't us. Massive intervention move. Wow, where did that come from? Nothing to do with us. And then it comes out 2 days later that, yeah, well, actually, we did do that. But the Swiss are open about it. So this is why it's such a tricky thing to trade, because it's something where the market puts all its money whenever there's a problem. We go to the Swiss. Yeah. So the Swiss will massively move on a market that's in fear mode. So basically, everyone buys the Swiss franc. They liquidate risky assets in stocks and they buy Swiss franc because it's safe. But because of that, they will just move it whenever they need to put whatever they need wherever they need it. So that could well be why we've had that move. And it comes out of nowhere. You can't forecast it. It just happens. So pound Swiss, great example. Look at that. But equally, they will mean revert those moves. Yeah. So there's only a certain amount of buying that the SNB will do, or selling in this case that the SNB will do, and then they will stop. And when they stop, it will just exhaust. And anybody that's managed to get on this from an institutional perspective will get out. Yeah. Climbing up the stairs, falling down the elevator shaft. You'd be 50% retracement on that before you know it, within a few hours, potentially. And this is end pattern reversal, market reversal alert, retest. Could well be it. Oh, don't be a whippy day. Pulling back on the NASDAQ, we're creating a massive propulsion gap on the NASDAQ here. Horrible candle. When you're using a fixed risk reward, I mean, if I was using lower risk, I'd have my stop up the high there. But Dow didn't trigger. That's close. Look at that. Didn't get the trigger on the Dow. We did a very big long lesson this morning in the MST Academy on candlesticks, the 3 outcomes, 60 minutes. It was a big long lesson. So if you're a member and you haven't watched it yet, you couldn't make it this morning, the replay's up. So you can go and watch that, ask any questions you want on that lesson, but well worth going to have a look at that one. My favorite subject, candlestick patterns. They're very, very important. Afternoon, Mimo. So let's have a look at these RSIs. We're waiting for the market to move. So yeah, big moves on the RSIs as well today. So CAD Yen, we are down on the 4 hour below the 10 mark, or not actually, we're at 10.83, but near as damn it. Euro Yen, same thing, 11.4. All the Yens actually, look, 15, 17, 15. Yeah, so the Yen basically on a roll at the moment. So all these RSI extensions are huge. If you zoom out and look at where we are now on this CAD Yen and compare it to previous, we've only ever been here once before in the last kind of, where are we here? Year. Yeah, so basically a year, isn't it? That's a year. So down here, 61.8, 71.9 retracement. Yeah. We haven't been close to this level for a long time. So this move here, if you look at the size of this move and then compare it to the size of that move, yeah, there is potentially more movement to the downside here, but this is so unbelievably extended. We're very nearly in single digits. Very, very rare to get into single digits, but you have this beautiful double bottom support coming up on the 4 hour, which is at 225 ADR. We are at 150. So you've only got literally 3/4 of an ADR. That can happen in an hour. So this is well worth watching for signs of movement back to the upside. So you've had no reversal alert on this on a 15-minute time frame really today. There was one. No, there wasn't actually. Yeah, you haven't had a reversal alert on this yet. So, you know, this is the first 15-minute reversal alert today. If we get it, I mean, we might not get it. So if this gets down to 225 ADR today, that's that double bottom support on a 4 hour time frame with an extension when that candle gets there of being below 10. Unbelievable buy opportunity. If you go and use the position trader EA in the strategy tester and you put in 10 and 90 on the 4 hour RSI with 5 or 15-minute entries, you'll find you get not 100% strike rate, but you're well over 80. So you'll get 1, maybe 2, occasionally 3 trades on in a position at this extension. They work out virtually every time, but you just don't get them. So it's not something you can rely on as a strategy to make money on because, you know, like this, we've had 2 instances in 12 months. You can't live on 2 trades in 12 months. So you can, obviously, you put 50% of your account on it. Happy days. Wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, so that's a massive extension there, as you can see on the CAD yen. Oh, that's a stop out. Jesus. Horrible market today. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30-minute ORB is going to be the break on the NASDAQ today. It's going to eat all my morning's gold profit. Already has eaten all my morning's gold profit. Huge extensions. Swiss yen also extended 4 hour. Yeah, huge 8 hour sell-off. Look at the size of that sell-off in 8 hours. We've had 183 pips, 88 ADR. So that's over 200 ADR of price movement in 8 hours, one session. Huge move. Again, climbing up the stairs, falling down the elevator shaft. That's properly falling down, and at 50% retracement in. Low to high. Done. So very high probability of a bounce play off of this. Again, very, very low. We haven't been down here since there, which was equivalent to that. Yeah, 50% retracement. Always look for the 50% retracement. Pretty much guaranteed on everything. Euro yen. That's the same as the Swiss yen, so don't trade both. They're both very similar. But yeah, both of those moved down. Obviously, we've looked at pound yen. That's down below the 20 level. Again, we've had one instance below the 20 level, which is back here behind my head. Getting above the 85 level. One there, that's a nice short opportunity there. You had one there, which is a short opportunity. One there, which is went into an accumulation and pulled back sort of 38% roughly. New Zealand dollar yen, again, big extension here. Now, this New Zealand dollar is getting absolutely hammered at the moment. So you look at the extension there. Yeah, you look at the extension there. You didn't really get a pullback on that one there. And this is now looking divergent. So we're at double monthly lows. Now, this is September's low, so it doesn't really count. But that is the low going back into August. So there's potential for us to get some kind of exhaustion bounce out of this. And again, we'd be looking for a pullback. So always look for the 50% pullbacks in the legs. Somewhere around here, 225 ADR to the upside is an obvious target for this one. There's good support resistance to the upside as well to look at. So we've got this area here, which was a double bottom. Previous resistance, support bounce, we accumulated around that. So there's this area here I'd be looking at as a little bit of a worry, which was last week's low. So pushing back up into last week's low would be kind of a 38 retracement. Possibly. Not even sure if that is 38. 23. So last week's low is there. So it would be a very shallow pullback. But this New Zealand dollar, very weak at the minute. So possibility that could happen. But yeah, looking really good for pullbacks. All of these yen pairs. Really nice extensions. Some more just gone in. So 10.83 on the CAD yen. That was the hourly's just coming in there. So we've got big extension on the hourly as well. CAD yen. Very nicely extended to the downside there. Extended and embedded. Still RSI is pushing down with price. So there's no divergence there to take. But we were talking about this morning in the live rooms in the members stream. When you get to this sort of scenario where you get into like multi-month highs and lows or all-time highs and lows, we were looking at gold this morning because gold's up at all-time highs. And how do you identify a reversal at an all-time high? And we were looking for price action candlestick patterns. If there's any members in here that were in that one this morning, but this is where we stopped looking at it. And I said, when you get a break of that control candle, that will be the short. Literally 15 minutes after we came off stream. Anyway, there you go, members. That's what we were talking about. So New Zealand dollar yen, obviously we're coming down really, really fast and hard here. Hourly extension. Out of the lows basically. So you're in an area with a lot of these yens now where you haven't got any left hand support to look at. So there's nothing to the left to really give you any clues unless you're looking at really old support and resistance. So dropping down onto low time frames and using just price action candlestick patterns. So we got an outside bar indecision there and then a bullish candle with a bearish candle with a higher low. Got rejections up at the high. There's your support rectangle. So taking a break there is a very good potential signal. Yeah. So we've hit this level. Buyers have stepped in on a 3-bar reversal. We've hit this level. Buyers have stepped in on a 3-bar reversal. We've hit this level. Huge rejection by the buyers again. We've hit this level. Huge rejection by the buyers again. This is exhaustion. Yeah. There's no one left down here that the sellers can buy from. Yeah, they're only here. So if we can't go there, we only have two outcomes. We have to go back. So that's where the profit take move is going to start. And then the profit take move, very difficult to call on this one because you've got a million places to the upside that we could hit as resistance, haven't we? So tricky. That's a really good level, that propulsion move to the upside. So that would be my upside target on this. But standing in front of a steam train today, aren't you? At the moment, right, not going anywhere here. So just rotation on the NASDAQ today. News is in. Let's just go to financial juice. 49.1 on a forecast of 49, so it's a forecast hit. Ever so slightly bullish, ever so slightly. Not enough. So market, no reaction really to that. Gold, we have a 6-bar range on gold. Trade, again, gold totally flat today. I'm not surprised, it's been like a beast. So 6-bar range is too wide on the NASDAQ, so there'll be no more trades on the NASDAQ today. 6-bar range too wide on the Dow. So the only trade I'll be taking today with the ORB is a short there. And a gold break long on short. Anybody got any other pairs I want to look at? Right, trading good mornings. Umo, trading good mornings. Oh, gold, I presume you mean gold. Yes. Yeah. So same. Yeah. Gold moves in the mornings as well. Gold is a commodity. Yeah. So London wakes up and goes, need to buy some gold. New York wakes up and goes, need to buy some gold. Commodities are traded 24/7. So the vast majority of the orders come in at the open, same as indexes. But gold is a little bit stubborn, as you can see today. So gold, I find, takes a little bit longer to get going. But when it gets going, as today, it really gets going. A lot of this money that I made yesterday was gold as well. Nice big moves, basically. But hey, someone teach me this trading? Okay. Not that easy. Are you out of Aussie New Zealand? No. Yes. No. No. Oh. No. I've only got 2 on. 3 on, sorry. So no, not yet. Not enough profit on it yet. Did I get a pound Swiss? I'm not out of pound Swiss either yet. That is an ADR. So I think I'm going to close pound Swiss out. So I've taken pound Swiss off. So that is pull back potentially on a down leg. It might carry on like that. Don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm out. So Aussie New Zealand are leaving on at the minute. This has gone way. This is such a massive move. Kind of need to look at it on the 4-hour really, but this is such a big move since this propulsion move that we had on the news and the second one. I think from this baseline monthly low, I kind of looking at that as being the move. There has not been a profit take. So if you look at, in fact, you could even call that baseline there the move. That movement there, you kind of got a bit of a pullback on it. So I would class that as kind of a flag break, but a flag break should do that, and it didn't. It accumulated for an entire week, an entire month before it moved. Then we had the news. So even if I look from there, you know, there's so much downside on this. I don't want to get out of it yet. It's just started to move. But I'm just a little bit worried about the New Zealand dollar strength. It's very, very weak at the moment, New Zealand dollar. There's no real signs of any potential uptick in it. And the Aussie, obviously massively bullish at the moment. So, and again, there's no real change in the Australian dollar. So when you look at something like the Aussie New Zealand, where are you, Aussie New Zealand? I go mad. Why have I not got the Aussie New Zealand? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm missing some pairs, aren't I? I'm missing the Aussie New Zealand. Anyway. But yeah, if you look at, Aussie, it's had some really good news. The employment change figures were bad, but the unemployment rate stayed the same. With New Zealand, you've just had them have not just a miss on GDP. Yeah, GDP going slightly negative is like, need to worry about that. If it happens three quarters in a row or 3 months in a row, we're in recession. They didn't just miss it; they almost went 1% in the hole. Yeah, it's not good. So you got some really bad news for the New Zealanders. Retail sales is an orange news event. That's absolutely nothing. And everything else has been neutral or bearish. If you look at the last news events on New Zealand dollar, everything is negative pretty much or neutral apart from retail, which makes absolutely no difference. So there is a very strong danger of just a kind of little flag break move on this. But also, you've got to look at how extended it is. It's massively extended. Where are we going? Nowhere. Gold is absolutely stuck. I'm flat. Kind of tempted to take a little breakout on this NASDAQ 6-bar range. I know it's a bit big. Mind you, the market's dead, isn't it? So should really leave it. I don't really want to push it today. Another alert just come in, 150 ADR on the DAX. So I guess the Swiss have been buying European stocks. If they've been liquidating the Swiss franc, obviously it doesn't take a rocket scientist to show what they've been doing, does it? Sticking it all in European stock market. Massive move up, 150 ADR. Again, watch for reversals on this. You're up in highs here, look. Yeah, we're up at not all-time highs, but you know, we're floating around this area up at the highs here. We've just broken out of last month's high today. So watch for a pullback at this monthly high. So this is a breakout. There will be an exhaustion to have another go at getting out of that in all likelihood. So pull back into that propulsion gap on the hourly. So if you want to look for mean reversion opportunities on this, just look for some price action down on the 5-minute time frame. There's been no signal whatsoever to go short at all. Yeah. Absolutely no short signals anywhere at the minute. So as soon as you get that reversal alert in, that's going to give you, if that was to happen, for example, that's going to give you an outside bar. Yeah, so you're going to want some bearish confirmation on that 4-bar move there. Short, back down into propulsion on the hourly, which is there. So just above yesterday's high. Order filled. Gold, short. So that's the 6-bar range on gold. 30-minute TPO candle. See if we can get that continuation short. Doesn't look like it, does it? It's going to be one of those sessions where you get it all in the morning and you give it all away in the afternoon. Are you trading gold on the London and New York Open? Yeah. Only if it allows. So, you know, the EA is dynamic. It measures the ranges and sees if it's worth trading. If it's worth trading, it's worth trading. If it's not, it's not. So, I mean, yesterday, we had a trade on gold yesterday. There. The day before. In fact, we've had a trade on gold pretty much every day. Yeah. So that, yeah, sorry. So that was, yeah, so that was London yesterday. We didn't have a trading London on Monday, but we did have New York trades on Monday. There was no London trades on Friday, but there was a New York trade. There was a London trade and a New York trade the day before that. But you won't get one every single day in every session. In fact, sorry, that is a New York trade. So there was a New York short and then a New York long. But there was no London trade on that day. Again, no London trade, but there was a New York. It's hit and miss, gold. The market will move when the market will move with gold, and you can't time it like you can with the stock indices. For example, here we went before the open today, but this was part of the pullback on this morning's move. So potentially we're just putting back into support for a long here. If that's the case, I'm going to stop out on my short. I'm going to flip long, and I'm going to go for a new high on the long. But it's looking pretty rotational at the moment. Tempted to take a little scalp on this. Just try and get some of that money back, but I don't really want to push it. Dow's way too wide at the minute. It's a mess today. Just a mess. So just to let you know what's going on the rest of this week. Friday, member stream as normal. We've got a lot planned for Friday. That's not right. Crikey. I need to rearrange this. So Friday morning, we're going to be covering price action patterns. That's going to be a long session. So we're just going to do that one. I'm going to move average daily range and indicator types out. Friday afternoon, we've got a Q&A session. At the moment, there's no questions from this week's lessons. So I'm going to squeeze economic data in on Friday afternoon after the YouTube stream. And then Monday we'll rearrange ADR and indicator types for Monday. We'll push these ones back. So just having to push these back because I'm trying to do sort of 2 lessons per lesson at the minute, if you like, and it's not working. They take too long. I waffle too much. So that's what's coming up the rest of the week. So price action patterns on Friday, which is a follow-on from today's session, which was 3 outcomes of candlesticks. There you go. Pound Swiss. M pattern starting, structure break, has bounced at support. So it may be that this is just a little flag break and a move up, but it could well be the start of the profit take leg. Gold's not going anywhere. That was not a break. That was just a little slightly lower accumulation. It was a double bottom, basically. Messy market. Do you think it is topped now or going to 1.15? Aussie New Zealand? No idea. No idea. That's 1.149, pretty much 1.15. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, so that's 1.15, which is your pretty much decade. That's a decade high. So yeah, could do. But I mean, if you look how parabolic this move is, it's not the fact that we are going to get there or not. It's the speed at which it's on its way there is indicative of some kind of exhaustion. It's whether it can reach it. And quite often, if you look at this move back here, when you're going for a level, which in this case they were heading for there, yeah, you tend to get, you can't get there parabolically. Yeah, you have to pull back, but it's just flag breaks. So push, that was a 50% or 60% retracement. Then you start to push up, 60% retracement. Then you push up, and then you start the sort of, I mean, that's just a flag break in this case, but that's enough to get out on easily, 38 retracement. But if you look at where we are at the moment and the speed that it's got to where it's got to, this is way faster. There's a tiny little pullback there. Other than that, we've had absolutely nothing. This is not stopped. So when this move started and broke that high there, and we put this propulsion gap in to break that accumulation, we haven't looked back. We're back. This is literally 2 months solid, straight buying. Yeah. When I say climbing the stairs and falling down the elevator shaft, the faster you run up those stairs, the faster you come down. And this thing's really gone for it. So that move there is going to be fast. It's going to get back to that 24 MA and back to that propulsion gap really quick. That's the area you want to watch out for. See, that will be roughly a 38 retracement on that up leg. 38, bang on. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. If you, I mean, that's a hell of a hold. You're going to have to hold it a long time to get there, but it could easily get up there. You know, so this could be just another stepping stone in market structure, which is really ugly at the minute, but up into there, and that will be the reaction point. Yeah. All market participants, doesn't matter how big they are, whether they're in a bank, an institution, a pension fund, a hedge fund, in a prop firm, whatever they're doing, everyone sees this and everyone will be watching this level and everyone will be ready to react at that level, and therefore it will react. Yeah, it become levels in support and resistance are created by bank and institutional order flow. Bank and institutional order flow happens when participants agree. Participants can all see the same thing. Therefore, they are self-fulfilling prophecies. They just happen because everybody sees it. Yeah. So everybody sees that price point as a 10-year high. When you get to the 10-year high, if you pop through the 10-year high, it will be like, holy cow, we've broken the 10-year high. Really? Brings attention to it. And everyone goes, wow, look at the size of that move. I'm going to get on that when it comes back down again. And that's what makes it come down. As they see it start to come down, everybody that's long on this goes, oh shit, my P&L is dropping. I better short now, better get out. If I've bought and bought and bought and bought to make profit, I need to sell and sell and sell and sell. Execute the opposite side of my order. Bang, elevator shaft. Climb up the stairs. Took me from October to, this is daily, isn't it? 2021 to 2022. Yeah, it took me 12 months to get there. Boom. Took me 3 months to get back. Yeah, that will take no more than, well, 1, 2, 3. That will take no more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks really, maximum to be back down 3/4 of that move. But, you know, it's not going to go from necessarily the same level. Yeah, support and resistance is not a level, it's a zone. This is a zone. This could well be where that zone is drawn. It might go from there. They might pull back slightly, push up into there, and then go from there. I don't know. If I knew that, I'd do it. You never know. No one ever knows where price is going. If we did, we'd all be billionaires. We'd be living in the Star Trek era where nobody needs money. Gutted. I was going to take a long on the NASDAQ on that 6-bar break and I've missed it. So, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to use a limit order. So if we pull back down excuse me, into that high. I'm going to take a long. I'm going to use that support resistance as a line in the sand if it doesn't work out. And I'm going to see if we can get up to those highs, basically. So, that's my risk, that's my reward. Gold's dead, not going anywhere. USA Nyongan, look in channel info for his website and there to Discord. What? Oh. I don't know what that means. ORB 3.3, did I miss something? I don't know, Vitaly. Did you miss something? I can't answer that question. I don't know if you missed something. This is 3.3. The only difference between 3.3 and 3.2 is this setting here. Exit when line is hit, candle close beyond if false. Yeah. So basically what this does is this is a new input. So when we hit the partial, there isn't a partial on this one, but when we hit the partial line, yeah, it will take profit when it hits it rather than when the candle closes above it. Yeah, which is how it used to work. So you now have the option to have a partial TP hit rather than close. That's the only difference between 3.2 and 3.3. Just to add that extra functionality. So when you hit that partial profit line there, you can now take profit straight away. I'm at 3.21. Yeah, so you're only on just the version before. So it's exactly the same. So that's defaulted to false. I think it's defaulted to false. Yeah, it's defaulted to false. So if you upgrade to 3.3 and just load your current set files, nothing will change because that'll be false. But if you want it to just take the profit when it hits the line rather than waiting until the candle to close over the line, which is how it used to work, or how it does still work, if you have that false, then that's what it will do. But it's just something people have been asking for, and I get it. I have tested it. It isn't as profitable, but it's not much in it. It's still profitable. It's profitable whichever way you go. So time 3:30. So this is a pretty strong move. So since this candle here, we've just had one inside bar and 20 minutes worth of consistent buying. So by the time we get up to that yesterday's high, this is going to be pretty exhausted. The buyers will be hanging on by the skin of their teeth, waiting for some kind of bearish price action to start to hammer them down to get out of those trades. So pretty quick scalp opportunity back up at the high of yesterday, with an opportunity to sell it back down by about 65 points. And then you got that high of the previous day. So this is the high of the week. The two reaction points. With a bull move just starting up on from ADR. Look, absolutely textbook, spot on ADR. Look at that. Look at this on the 5-minute time frame. Doesn't get any more accurate than that, does it? Look at that. Straight down into ADR, touched it to the pip, bullish engulfing, reversal alert, off we go. If only it happened like that every time. Again, we'd all be billionaires, wouldn't we? That's a good exit on pound Swiss. Inside bar. So if this closes bearish, you're watching for pullback down. Good short opportunity. Weekly range just hit on the DAX. DAX still pushing. So that's your weekly AWR gone on the DAX. $482. So that is your average weekly range on the DAX achieved by Wednesday. Upside resistance. Somewhere around there. So again, 175 ADR today. That high, that low, that low, that high, that high. So if you encompass those highs there, which were supportive. Yeah. And then these lows here, which were resistive. That's a nice pullback area. All the way back down into the 2-week high and last week's high. Be 50% pullback on that leg. Rinse, repeat. Gonna stop out on gold as well. One of those days today. It's just ruin it. This is the annoying thing about trading, isn't it? Strike rates. It's going to be a break-even day. Was a lovely profit this morning. Now it's going to be break-even. Not over yet though. Gold could collapse. Yeah, so if you're in 3.21 Vitali, just going up, get the latest one for the website. Can't do that, can you? So just go to EA's on the website. Downloads, and it's on the latest ones up there. MT5 and MT4 are both on the same version now, I think. 3.3, 3.3, yeah, so they're both on 3.3, MT4 and MT5 now. Pulling off the highs on the Dow. DAX is starting to look like it might roll over a little bit as well. We are at 150 ADR now, so again, push. Sort of a pull and a pull, really, isn't it? But if we break that low, you've got a nice resistance there. So it's a nice little tight risk reward short. Going yet. Stopped out gold. I'm done for the day. I can't be bothered with this anymore. Do I take a buy stop on gold and see if we can get a long? I'm break even. Let's have a go at it. So if we get the break long on gold, I will go long, but that will be it today. That'll be the last trade. There's a sell stop on the Dow. Still in play. There's my manual buy limit there, which I'm going to delete. It's just not working today. There's nothing happening. So sideways. So call it a day. Break even's better than a loss. Right. I'll leave it there. I'm back on Wednesday, Friday. Long gold. Just triggered long on gold. Might get a movement on gold now. In fact, I might add into that if I can. Yeah, so back on Friday. So member stream 9 o'clock. we will be covering price action patterns. I'll get that changed. We'll be covering price action patterns. I'm not going to get indicator types done on the same day, so we'll do those two, that one. And then Friday afternoon, back here, same time, 2:30, we'll trade the Open, NASDAQ, Dow, and Gold. Obviously, bear in mind, and then Q&A session at 3:30 for members as well. But bear in mind, this news on Friday may not happen now. So there's been talk, obviously, of unemployment rate not being released on Friday because of what's going on with this government shutdown thing. So not really sure what is going to happen. So we'll have to just wait and see. Keep our eyes peeled on the news. But yeah, we'll see what happens on Friday. We'll trade whatever is happening, basically. Right. Afternoon, what's Jake? Afternoon, you're late. You've just turned up as I'm about to go. That's not good timing at all. 2:30 we start. Not 3:35. Okay, so long on gold. I'll monitor that. Watch the high. We're just coming up into resistance now. So watch yesterday's high on the NASDAQ. Look for price action at the highs there. Might be a nice bounce point. Other than that, bit of a washout day today. Anyway, I'll be back Friday. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Discord or Telegram. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a good day.